Today I'm going to respond to the speech that claimed that the notion that having something typed is always better is inhibiting the effectiveness of our education. The speaker's main points were that typing dulls creativity and originality, reduces the grasp of the English language, and reduces the overall quality of the work. Now, obviously, his main target here was against word processors such as Microsoft Word. But I'm claiming that none of these claims are actually true. The first claim was that typing, as opposed to writing, dulls creativity and originality. In Word Processing versus Traditional Handwriting in the Elementary Classroom by Andrea Croker, a doctor of education at Michigan State University, found that elementary school children who typed their assignments rather than writing them enjoyed the work much, much more. Typing was seen as a fun activity rather than a chore. I think we all remember that when we were in elementary school, a really common punishment was write this line 100 times. I did such and such and will never do such and such again. And we had to do it over and over and over again. And because writing was a chore, it wasn't something writing by hand isn't something fun. Typing, on the other hand, it's something that's easy to do. It's because of the technological aspect of it, even older, we have more fun with it than we do with writing. Also, being able to edit and revise in real time, not having to go back and erase, or in case of a pen, like cross out, we have more creativity with our writing instead of less. And we don't need to write multiple drafts over and over again for the to get a final product. The study also found that students feel more independent and confident in their own abilities when they type rather than when they write. The study showed that that by doing this, the students actually wrote more, used more topic sentences, had better vocabulary, fewer errors in tense and subject-verb agreement, and just overall the quality was better. The second claim was that typing reduces our knowledge and grasp of the English language. He elaborated on this by targeting spell check programs, and that using spell check programs makes us lazy. That now we don't know quite as much English. We're bad with spelling. We're bad with grammar as a result of over-reliance on spell check programs. And this is false as well. Spell check programs tell us immediately when we've done something wrong. With Microsoft Word, we get that bright squiggly red line whenever we spell something wrong, or the green line when we've made some kind of grammar mistake. And this kind of immediate feedback is much better for the learning process and the memory process than the kind of delayed feedback that we would get from like a red Sharpie line drawn underneath like an essay. A study by James and Chen Kulik at the University of Michigan conducted a large-scale analysis of 53 separate studies and found that the trend was immediate feedback is much more beneficial than delayed feedback. And the third claim was that typing has a negative effect on the quality of the work produced. And the ground to this was that students who type are not as interested or engaged as they would be if they had written the assignments instead. And that's false as well. A study by Lowe and Nichols, entitled "Pencil and Paper versus Word Processing: A Comparative Study of Creative Writing," found that students who type their work rather than writing it also have a wider variety on the kind of even when they write on the same subject, a wider variety of the ways in which they approach it. And also, like I said before, being able to type and see your work right in front of you, being able to go back and change it, edit, and move things around, lets students be more creative about how they compose their papers and also what they put in them. To finish up, typing is superior to writing when it comes to composing papers. It helps us to be more creative with our writing. It actually increases our grasp of the English language, and it raises the quality of our work. Thank you.
All right, you did a good job labeling the advocates' points. You have a direct challenge on all of the points. You're following their organizational structure. There's not a lot of analysis about the advocates' evidence and their reasoning process, and I think there probably could have been a little bit more on those points. However, you do have counterclaims that apply to these arguments, and you're very specific about the kinds of arguments that you're making here. That's the one thing that I thought was missing several points, is the contrast between the way you've reasoned the argument and the way the advocate reasoned the argument. So on the first point, the advocate makes this particular claim about originality, and you've provided a study that found significant impact on the way people enjoy their work and on their creative processes, and that the students are more confident and involved when they type, and so you provided specific support for your claim. Now, what's the evidence that the advocate used to support their claim? What's the contrast? They didn't have any. It's an assertion, or there's a hypothetical example, or whatever their evidence was. Then you can contrast and say, now, which position seems to be the more rational one for you to believe? And I think that would sell your argument a little bit more. But it's very well organized. You do the same thing on the other points, and so I think you're doing a good job there. You also did a very nice job delivering it to the audience. You talk to us, you engage us, you explain the arguments. I like the source citations. You're very clear on that. Like I said, the only things that I think are a little problematic is there's not enough analysis of the advocate's points and then contrasting those points. All right. Thank you.